We're here with Luther's Boots and Co. We're here with Danny Wilson, Tracy Schlepp, and Zach. What's your last name, Zach? Holden. Sorry, I just literally learned your last name like 20 minutes ago. To be fair, yeah, welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having Brian.
Yeah. So yeah, we're just doing a little listening party. The new Luther's Boots album is out today on all streaming platforms. You can find it on Spotify and YouTube and iTunes and all those good things. Bandcamp too, I think, right?
Yep.
We recorded it here at Shady Pines studio, which is where I am broadcasting from right now. And yeah, we're just going to kind of go through. I think we'll just kind of talk about a few of the songs on there, the overall process that was kind of involved in making it, and you writing and all that. And then at the end of this, we'll just listen to the whole dang album.
All right.
So yeah. Do you guys want to like introduce yourselves and kind of what you are in relation to Luther's Boots and the Folsom 50 project?
Sure. I'm Danny Wilson, and I guess I am sort of the leader of the band. I write the songs of the original songs that we do.
They make the young girls cry.
Yeah. So write them so far anyway. At least the chord progressions and the lyrics. And myself and Tracy Schlepp here. I'm going to let you talk, of course. But we created the Folsom 50 project, which was basically bringing Johnny Cash's At Folsom Prison record and playing that in prisons. We started doing that in 2018, and we toured almost all the Oregon prisons doing that, and then did it again last year to a slightly lesser extent, playing a different set of Cash tunes. And we're just about ready to start another tour when the old coronavirus took everything down.
Yeah.
So this is officially kind of our first.
I don't think we played this year at all.
No, this is our first event.
Yeah.
Of the third season.
Well, you did release a cool video that was really sweet. That was like a nice little release project with the whole band in there.
Yeah, little film from home. Video, little kind of look like a Zoom video, if you will.
Yeah.
And,
a true quarantine project for sure.
Yeah.
Unmistakably 2020.
So Danny Wilson, I play acoustic guitar and I sing and kind of write songs. And Tracy, who are you?
I'm Tracy Schlepp, and I'm a visual artist, and I bring the sort of the writing around the project and deliver art education inside the prisons. And Danny and I teach a class at Oregon State Penn, and we are about to start a program at Coffee Creek where we'll do storytelling. And
we're about to.
We are about to, as soon as we're allowed back in.
Yeah.
I also print and make images, and so I print all the ephemera. And so a big part of our shows is to deliver a kind of real concert inside. And so I make playbills that where I write an essay to contextualize the performance and to give the folks inside something that's handmade to hand them and then for them to keep. And it's that kind of totem is a way of holding on to the experience of being in a show. And we've had guys tell us, like, I've actually never been to a concert. And so this is I really feel like I've been to a show. And
yeah.
Feels really special.
Yeah, and your art is awesome, by the way. And you also made the art for the album that we're talking about today, Darkened Road Ahead, and it is wonderful. You were kind enough to just physically swing by the house an hour ago and drop off a copy of the album, and it's actually like a little book. So on the radio you can't see this, but if you tune into YouTube or whatever, you can see it's this cool little like physical copy. It's a book, and I haven't read it all yet. I must confess, I was kind of
Well, it was a
multitasking.
last minute drop off.
Yeah, but it's got the CD in the back. I love this packaging. It's super nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, really cool idea to have a little booklet.
Well, I gotta say, Danny Wilson made all those lino cut images, and so I do typography and letterpress printing and sort of assemble the concept. But
Cool, yeah.
he's gotten into it.
Sweet. Yeah, so it's a collab. I like it.
It's a collab. But let's not forget that we have waiting in the wings our new graduate.
Hey. Zach.
Introduce yourself, Zach.
Hello, I'm Zach. I am soon to be graduated from Portland State University with a bachelor's degree in, I think it's jazz guitar performance.
It's not sure.
Maybe French literature.
Yeah, well, I always tell people it's a music degree, and then they ask for more of the specifics, and then I'm like, well, it's jazz studies, jazz guitar performance. But in my mind, it's just like, it's a music degree.
Yeah.
And the kind of especially because, jazz guitar is more or less off center from what my main focus is. I usually just be like, even though it's like the more specific part of the degree, I feel like it's more to the side, and that the main focus is, music, because that's what it feels like. It feels like I haven't spent this, in my case, 5 years at PSU learning jazz guitar. It's been 5 years at PSU learning music, which includes jazz guitar. So,
And you've been playing guitar with Luther's Boots now for a little bit, right? About a year or something like that?
Yeah, almost. I'd say exactly a year, more or less.
Cool.
Yeah, our first gig was sometime in late June, I think, or early July last year at it was South Fork camp.
Oh, yeah.
It was South Fork Forest Camp in the Tillamook
Forest Camp. It's the most beautiful prison I've ever been to, and I think I've only been to maybe 4 prisons in this group. And yeah, it was definitely an interesting beginning to playing in prisons, because it's like, wow, is this what a prison is now? I've never really been. It was so scenic.
I have trouble imagining a beautiful prison, but apparently that's a thing.
Well,
it's magnificent.
What's cool about South Fork is it's a partnership between Department of Corrections and the Forestry Department, and they take 200 folks who are well suited to work and do forest restoration and then fight wildfires. And so the men at that camp are low risk for escape.
I see.
And so it's there's the perimeter is really a sentinel of trees, and there's you don't go through metal detectors. There's security, but again, it's much more run like what they describe as like a military style, and it's a really special place. And so we've had 2 outdoor shows there. The first run of Luther's Boots was a different group of musicians, and one of the sort of sweet things about the project is we've been able to work with all these different people, and so that we've been able to share the experience of going inside and meeting folks and talking to them and sort of sharing this dialogue. We've been able to share that with quite a few different musicians, and that I think is part of the thing that makes the project kind of magical.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Brian.
I was just gonna say I want to get really into the this whole the whole Folsom 50 project and kind of how the birth of Luther's Boots. But I'm thinking, let's play some music. Let's do this first song. Do you want to give us a little introduction to Whistles in the Wind? This is the opening track for the album Darkened Road Ahead, out today by Luther's Boots.
It's funny. We got a grant to record this album from the Regional Arts and Culture Council. And I think when we started doing this is the long intro. I'll try to make it short. We started doing this. I didn't really think about making an album out of the experience, but that's basically what this grant was. That's for what we recorded in January. But I do remember, and I like spreadsheets. I have a spreadsheet with all the songs I've ever written. And I just drew a thick line on one of the cells there, and this was actually the first song that I wrote after we started playing all this Johnny Cash music. And the record itself is sponsored, like I said, by Rack, and it really is all coming out of the experience in one way or another. Now, the songs in general are not necessarily about prison at all. Some are about Johnny Cash, whatever, but it's all, affected by it some way or another.
Yeah. Because you guys started off as a Johnny Cash cover group.
Right. Luther's Booth started basically playing the At Folsom Prison record start to finish as a single piece of work. And we throw a couple songs on the end too as kind of the encore, but basically it was all Cash music. And those first books that Tracy wrote essays for and stuff contextualized it for, it was 50 years old at the time we did it 2 years ago. And it seemed important to give it a little context and see if it was still relevant in the prisons and everything. So
awesome.
This first song, Whistles in the Wind, is actually kind of talks about being a middle-aged person that I am. It's sort of this moment that you have of figuring out what's next and kind of how you move forward. And so it's kind of reflective as a way to start of kind of where I was at in my life, and needing help from people to get moving and finding something new and not knowing what it's going to be. So
awesome.
That's the short version of it.
All right. Well, yeah, let's play it, and then we'll get into it a little bit more with the whole project and everything. This is Whistles in the Wind by Luther's Boots off of the new album available everywhere, called Darkened Road Ahead. Check it out.
For years, I feel like I've been stuck at the station. Like my wheels are rusted and they won't move. But I just lit a fire and the steam is building. I'm not busted, but there's not much left to lose. And you lend me a hand, go get the grease gun. It might take a little more time, and bring out a hammer, a blunt force to free them. Let's get it moving on down the line. And I can hear this train a-comin'. It's rolling right around the bend. The big wheels keep on turning, and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. But I've been down this road before. This time it seems like it's gonna change. I need John Henry to help me build a new one, right on through that big mountain range. I don't know what I'll find when I break through. Maybe just a little bit of peace. The time is running on, so I won't lay down my hammer till it's time to finally go to sleep. And I can hear that train a-comin'. It's rolling right around the bend. The big wheels keep on turning, and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. How's that? and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. And you know I can hear that train a-coming. It's rolling right around the bend. No, the big wheels keep on turning and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. We're all just whistles in the wind.
Whistles in the Wind by Luther's Boots, off of the newly released, literally fresh off the press, out today, Darkened Road Ahead. You can find that on Spotify and Bandcamp, all that good stuff. That song's great. I love that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
you actually had a big part in making that work, if you remember.
Oh, you're gonna cop to this?
Well,
No, it's great.
Here's the thing about that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna cop to it a little bit.
All right.
It's all right, I think. Is it okay?
No, it's great. I think
I know where you're going.
I always am reluctant to tell people about my editing magic, but you guys are welcome to. It's up to you. I would gladly take credit for a little magic.
I can be vague. You know?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So, like the beginning of that song is, man, I can't remember the dang lyrics now. You lend me a hand, go get the grease gun, right?
Yeah.
So, if you've ever heard me play and sing by myself, you know I need a little bit of help here and there. So that's the thing. So the reason that I like that song. I like the record. I think we just did a great job. It wouldn't have been anything that it is without Zach, without actually input from Tracy, and without some magic of the Shady Pines Media Studio. And Wyatt and Kevin, everybody, you know. So Brian's mixing is as important to that song in particular as anything that I sang or Zach played or anything like that.
Man, yeah, but that said, this really was at the core a live studio album. Like, this is probably the livest thing I've done. I've done, well, you know, in the past I've mostly done like been kind of limited because you were one of the first bands to come in when I had our offshoot room totally set up, you know, and you know, we kind of re-recorded your first album with Danny Girl, and that was mostly live, but we had to do, you know, kind of redo parts and all that. But this was at the core of it a live album. You were in another room playing your guitar and singing, and the drums, bass, and guitar were all in the main room.
Yeah.
Playing. We had the amps in our bedroom. You know, the guitar amp was out in me and Callie's bedroom, mic'd up, and and very little was kind of overdone. So yeah, there was some magic involved, but for the most part, it was very much a live record. It's you know.
Well, I want to say that I think that the spirit of the whole thing, like the whole project, is like we show up and we plug and play in a prison, and it could be a gymnasium, it could be a chapel, it could be the chow hall. So there's this sort of need to be like ready to roll and deal with whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's like that component, which just, you know, it makes for a really interesting tension and a kind of play within the personality of the musicians. It's really, really fun and interesting.
Yeah.
And then coming down to your place, we had all commented on like how the linoleum is the linoleum in the Sun Records. And so right away, there's like this kind of feel there, like we're going to go back in time and we're going to make something that is the way that, you know, the way it was done.
Yeah, and I kind of had that mindset as well. I was, you know, I feel like maybe we're all imagining a little bit that we were just like at Sun Records recording, you know, it kind of simplified things. I'm like, all I'm going to do is just try to mic things up well and capture that live thing, because you guys have been playing together for a long time. You know, you guys have your live chemistry, and there's no way to really fake that, I don't think. Like, you can make something that sounds good layer by layer for sure, but there's nothing quite like the live band interaction. Like, all the musicians hearing each other in real time and playing off of each other, which, we really captured, I think, on this record.
Yeah. Like you did a good job of doing that, for sure.
I'll take a very tiny bit of credit for that, honestly, but yeah, that's mostly you guys.
So, yeah, the song is about really needing, or I don't know if needing is the right word, but accepting help and looking for help to do, I don't pretend to be an island on anything that I do. And and then also combined with this this kind of statement on middle age a little bit, and I could have got a Corvette, but now we play Johnny Cash instead. I don't know.
Seems safer.
Yeah.
There are a couple things. Like one is that in terms of the Cash thing, the train songs are really important in the Cash, just sort of whole mythic. He started with Hey Porter, which is a train song. His last song that he records is 309. So having kind of a bookend of train songs is kind of great. And then also, I think what is fun about what Danny's doing is he's pulling things like John Henry and some folk heroes into it, which is really a real strong thread in Americana. And there is an element of pulling threads all the way through from Mountain Songs in, and I think that actually he does it authentically, and it works. And
yeah.
The
Go ahead.
Kind of cool thing about two of not only Zach but Kevin and Wyatt, who play bass and drums on the record. And maybe Zach, you can tell me a little bit of your thought on this, but first of all, that song changed as when Zach came on board,
right?
Because we had some ideas of just the way you play it when you come in, Zach. I don't know how to describe what you're doing there, but because I had played that with other people and nobody did that, and it made it more interesting. But
I have no idea what you're talking about. You mean electric guitar?
I'm not going to try and sing the thing that you're doing, so that would be awful. But the point I'm making is that you have a really, and I don't know if this is just from playing with people for a lot over the years, but you can tell me you're playing with me and not against, like when I'm singing, right? Sure. You're answering or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you talking about well, yeah,
like
you know what you're saying.
Like my favorite part of the song, right? But you don't play a little fill over what we're singing. You're doing things that are complementary. I don't know if that's just from you playing with people for a long time.
Right. I mean, it's I think it is that it's common sense, and that's why it took me a while to really get what you're saying, because I didn't see what was so unique about it. Because to me, that's just like the default is, ever since 10 years ago when I started playing in groups, that's kind of like one of the first things that you kind of realize, or maybe you get drilled into you by some other force. It's just it's kind of that weaving thing and that reaction thing, and the like you said, the complementary or sometimes supplementary actions of it, where you just create something together, and that's really all it is. It's nothing too abstract.
Yeah, which is something that applies to just all music. I think, any musician is that's what a good musician does. Is you're not trying to be the star. You're just trying to weave something into it that complements the music. Question for you, Zach, is before you started in Luther's Boots, were you a pretty big fan of like Americana style and like Johnny Cash in particular? Was that already a part of your kind of musical vocabulary?
Yeah, because I think it must have been a couple of years ago or something. I kind of devised this, 3-part division in my head of like the 3 aspects of my musicality or of my playing, and that would be like jazz / soul, which I put in one category for some reason. Rock and roll, because especially as a teenager, that was my thing. You know, I was a hard rock kid.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, Zeppelin, Hendrix, Jack White stuff. You know, and then the third one was always Ritzy, Americana, acoustic stuff, because I've always loved that, whether it be, you know, where that was in like the Led Zeppelin I loved as a teenager, or the Joni Mitchell and the Jim Croce and other, you know, singer-songwriters that I fell in love with. So yeah, that kind of Americana acoustic, you know, acoustic guitar, absolutely, is something I've always been into. Johnny Cash, yeah, you know, he's good. Never specifically Cash though.
Yeah. Well, he's a part. You know, Johnny Cash is undeniably just kind of a part of that whole thing, like American country music, undeniably for sure. But
exactly. For me, he kind of. Another example is I love certain Bob Dylan songs, and I love certain like Bruce Springsteen songs. But I've never been one of those guys who's all about Bruce or all about Dylan. You know, I've never really looked for a folk hero, in other words.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Just kind of taking all the influences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach, I just got to give one more compliment to Zach, and then we can move on.
Okay.
But
just one more.
Zach, the other thing that you do, and honestly, I think Wyatt and Kevin do it too, but it's more than just the sort of keeping your place in it. You've changed the way you play, sort of based off what the lyrics are saying, or what the feel of the song. Not even so much the feel, but like I remember on that song in particular, you wanted me to play my intro a little different, to be more train-like, to be to have less syncopation than I tend to play it. So you change your style kind of to fit what the words are saying, even, which I think is interesting. You're thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, you are thinking.
It's cool. So.
Yeah, it does result in a bit of an identity crisis sometimes, though. If you're always serving the song, you forget what you're playing, but in the end, it's fine. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
More thought is good.
What do you guys think about rocking another song?
Let's do it.
Good idea.
I'm thinking Nashville is another song that you wanted to kind of feature before we play the whole album.
Nashville's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good musical interludes.
Let's talk about it after. I'm just going to play it.
Do it.
Nashville by Luther's Boots off Darkened Road Ahead.
Hey there, Nashville, what you got in store for me? Pointy boots and cowboy hats and tight-fitting jeans, tight-fitting jeans. Hey man, that's not my scene. I'm just looking for something that makes me want to leave. I like to walk up, just like Johnny Cash. Pretty sure on stage that he never wore a hat or the man in black. He stayed true to himself. Redemption, resurrection, and always a good story to tell. I wasn't sure just what I thought I might find, but now I'm home looking for others of my kind. Hey there, Big Smokey, so glad to shake your hand. They're my smoke pickers, I really like to see that kind of band. Oh, what's just right? Right there in that leaky double wide. We did not expect it, but we're damn glad to see that other side. That Nashville skyline, it seems to do no wrong. That duet with Johnny Cash is one of my favorite songs. Oh, did they see that Dylan showing up would be the key to growing this city and changing that Nashville scene? I wasn't sure just what I thought I might find, but now I'm home looking for others of my kind. Went down to Third Man to find something new. Cut a scratchy 33, I had nothing to lose. Oh, Jack White, do you think you might take a chance on this old singer with many more songs to write? Ain't there Nashville, what you had in store for me? I love the open road for them tight-fitting jeans, so ain't for me. No, I don't think they will ever be. I'll take your Americana style and all your history. I'll take your Americana style and all your history.
Wa-cha-cha. Nashville by Luther's Boots, off of the brand new album Darkened Road Ahead, now available on all the things, all the places you would try to find an album. You guys even have a physical copy that you guys made.
We do.
You guys print each one of these by hand? Is that how that works, or?
On the old, the 1928 Chandler and Price letterpress.
Wow.
Ka-chunk. And
So-
then the
so many
interior
ka-chunks.
image is all hand rolled and printed. I
Wow.
know. Labor of love.
How does one get the physical copy if one would like to obtain one?
Well, that's a good question.
There is a limited edition of them,
Yeah.
and it is for sale on DannyWilsonMusic.com.
Cool. And yeah, and you were so gracious, Tracy, to drop one off at my house, and I will say it is just it is a delight. It's very nice.
Thank you.
It reminds me of picking up like a record or something, and it's actually got some heft to it. It's got pages, and it's all hand pressed. I like it a lot. So I'm gonna read all the words in this thing probably tomorrow. One might argue I should have done it before interviewing you guys, but I did look it over, and I got a little bit of a. But so that song Nashville, we didn't really get to talk about it beforehand. But what inspired that one? I know it's definitely another Johnny Cash influenced tune. I know you've spent some time in Nashville as well.
We when we started the Folsom 50 project, Tracy and her husband are both artists, and they do things way differently than I would ever do them. And they read a lot of background information, do a lot of research into things when they're creating their art or writing or whatever.
Yeah.
And before we did any of those first shows in the prison, she convinced me that we needed to go to Nashville and do some research about Johnny Cash and country music in general.
And pay our respects.
Yeah.
Go to the Ryman. I have a very good friend that I went to summer camp with, Big Smokey Johnson, and he's a musician in Nashville. And so he was such a warm and wonderful host. And he said, well, these are the places you want to go to. And these are some of the musicians you want to see. And we just happened to arrive on the night where Santa's Pub in Nashville is a little double wide outside of the city, where you are warned to just wear clothes that you're going to immediately put in the wash because there's smoking inside. And
Yep.
Grant was part of, what's the band called?
The Ice Cold Pickers.
The Ice Cold Pickers. And so we went, and the Ice Cold Pickers were playing, and it was the 5th anniversary, and there were all these people, and a lot of them really like under 30 musicians, and like person after person was just like, they get up and they'd sing, and they were amazing. And then later that week, we went to Jack White's studio, where he does all these recording of young people, and we looked at all these 45s, and like on the cover of one, it was like, oh, she was singing, and she was singing, and he was like, and it was just like, oh, this is the place. And so there's a little reference to this.
So the song is sort of. I was thinking about this today, knowing that you would play it. It's almost like my little travel diary of the trip.
Yeah.
Including my expectations in the beginning of what I don't think I will like about country music in Nashville in general.
Those tight-fitting jeans.
Yeah, not good for me, man. And so, but I don't like pointy boots.
Yeah.
So a little admission of that there, but and of course there's a Cash reference, but in the second, after the first little chorus part, I say, Big Smokey, which is Tracy's friend there, go ahead and shake your hand, and he's the one that took us to Santa's Pub and see the Ice Cold Pickers.
Oh, cool.
The lyrics there, and then the other thing that we didn't even know when we showed up there, but it happened to be the same time when the Country Music Hall of Fame had a Bob Dylan installation there, and
that's lucky.
It was really cool, and really going through that whole thing and seeing the influence that he had on Nashville,
right? Which is actually I kind of, that was something I got out of your song. It's like I didn't really think of Dylan as influencing Nashville, more like the other way around. But I don't know. I haven't followed up on it a whole lot, but you do say that in the song.
Yeah, there's a confluence there, and
it got all these other musicians to actually follow him there.
Right. Which, I guess, it makes sense that a figure like Bob Dylan would bring a renewed attention, I guess, to a place like Nashville.
Yeah. And then the other thing was really, for me, is the Hatch print shop. It was right next to the Ryman, and it's an old wooden letterpress shop, and it's very influential in my work. But so that is
similar to the book, how the books are made.
Yeah, and so that print shop would do all the posters. And so if you're interested at all, and you start looking at like the history of music in the Ryman Auditorium, you just see like all this beautiful letterpress work.
Awesome, yeah.
So each verse is basically sort of a little snippet of what happened there, including the very last one when I say I love the open road.
Yeah.
It's this hat right here. This is the open road style from Stetson.
That's the one?
I don't like the regular cowboy hats, but I love this one.
It looks very very aerodynamic, which is good for the open road. Sure. It's got the fins going. So.
And if you look in your book, you'll see, this is like, I like a little visual pun. We've got the darkened road, and then you open the book of the thing, and there's a print in black on black of the open road hat.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Lapel. Yeah.
Well, I don't have a specific question for Zach, but how do you feel about that tune? And like I don't know, just like I don't know, how do you come up with a guitar part for such a song?
Well, that's as specific as you need to be for me, because I'll just deduce something.
Yeah.
Well, this song actually, I think it's my favorite song on this record in terms of how it sounds. And of course, that's a lot of us. That's a bit of you, Brian, of course. But I think above all, what's behind that is that this is like the one song that I think we didn't have to think at all how to do it, because there's only one way in which you can play this, because it is both in, of course, lyrics and the sound of it. It's a homage to Nashville,
big time,
and to country music. And so it's like, yeah, we're going to overdub guitars on it. Yeah, there's going to be a slide guitar. Yeah, there's going to be a solo. There's going to be a bridge. It's going to be a 12-bar blues, what have you. And
this is one that you did do an overdub on. Not all of them you did, but this one you overdubbed some slide.
Yeah, and I think that really drives it home, because the thing, I mean, our band is also like, Cash's band, which I think in terms of strings was just a 4-piece, right? Drums, bass, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and then with a singer. And it's like, it's hard to get that spirit unless you have like at least you know, maybe you get some mandolin, you get some banjo, you get some dobro, or you get some fiddle, or it's almost like a Baroque orchestra, except like a bluegrass kind of thing, to
Yeah.
really get that vibe, or pedal steel, all those strings. And yeah, one of the things I love about this album in general is how eclectic it is, and how, even though they're all these kind of Danny Wilson style Americana tunes, we took each of them in a different stylistic kind of turn, and this one was the most organic, obviously, because it just came out of like, how do we make a great country record?
Yeah. Yeah, and I had a ton of fun mixing it too, and recording it, and it's just it really did like have that feel, like where most of everything was there for me, just because you guys performed it so well, and then I could just play a little bit with like some of that like old time like slapback tape delay effect on the vocals, and like just do my part as a producer to kind of like make it sound, as much like that old time sound, like that older country sound as I can. And I really like how that one turned out.
You were right on there, Brian.
Yeah,
you did a good
totally.
job.
Totally.
Thank
I
you.
think the only thing that we sort of, that might not be expected there, Zach does a ripping guitar solo, but then we let Wyatt have a bass solo in that thing,
Oh yeah, that's
which
right.
is awesome.
Which is probably not among the traditional
No.
country styles of it, but yeah, fucking
It was
fantastic.
funny when
regardless.
you should have seen my son's face when I played that song for the first time when Wyatt's solo came on. It's just like, oh my god!
I
know that
cannot
was
help
happening.
but air bass to
Yeah.
it every time. I'm just like, boom,
Yeah.
boom,
It sounds
Yeah,
more
it
like
would be a shame not to take advantage of
Yeah.
Wyatt at every possible turn. Oh, does that sound? Oh shit!
yeah. We gotta
That
get Wyatt
sounded
on
terrible.
this call. Somebody send him the Zoom link. We gotta get Wyatt on here. All right, let's play another song. I'm so in the words of Monty Python, and now for something completely different. This is a song that I think, it fits on the album, but stylistically it's quite different. I actually don't hear a ton of Johnny Cash influence on this song, One Day Less. What can you tell us? Just a brief intro to One Day Less before we rock it and talk about it some more.
It actually started as sort of a. There's two songs on this record that were sort of writing exercises for me, and actually, this is so far from where it started. It was actually sort of a waltz first.
Huh.
I decided to do something kind of slow and waltzy, and
it was like a pirate tune,
what's that?
It was like a piratey tune, eh?
It had a little piratey feel.
Yeah.
It did a little bit, and then the theme of it, I don't think I was doing it on purpose at the time, but there's a song by Don Gibson called "Seed of Heartbreak" that Johnny Cash covered. One of great song, and it's very throughout. It really holds this thing about. I don't know, the metaphor throughout pretty well. And so I was trying to do something like that, and it just happens to be also something about the sea. But yeah, it started off a waltz, and actually we had 3 songs on the record that had a kind of 6/8 time thing, and I wanted to change one of them, and Zach actually suggested this one. And so it was Zach's thought that kind of turned this into the 4/4 version of it.
I love the groove of this song. It's I like how it ended up. This is called One Day Less by Luther's Boots from their new album Darkened Road Ahead, out today.
Stroll by the sea, walk hand in hand on the boardwalk. Skaters go by, kite flyers look up to the sky. Silhouetted by sun, sandals to bodies and sandals. Stare at the horizon and wonder what is to come. night. Ships in the distance revealed at the close of the day. Is a seafaring man alone far out in the ocean? Will he ever be wrapped in his true lover's arms again? One more day is behind us, and what have we done? It's one day less than we have before we are gone. Find a way back to your true love. The ocean's eternal, it'll wait for you to return. Oh, why are you waiting for you to be kept by your true love? Don't let the sea keep you long from where you could be. One more day is behind us, and what have we done? One day less than we have before we are gone. One more day is behind us, and what have we done? It's one day less than we have before we are gone.
That was One Day Less from Luther's Boots. And this is Box of Wine. Sergeant going ahead. Out the
All I get is the silent treatment.
Oh,
Hey.
folks, sorry about that. So I made the mistake of monitoring through through the TV in the other room, and apparently that's delayed by about 30 seconds. So what you just heard was a sneak peek of Box of Wine by Luther's Boots. But before that was One Day Less by Luther's Boots off their new album, Darkened Road Ahead. How's it going, guys?
That's good.
That song.
I just sprinted over here when I sprinted over here because I heard that it was almost over, and then I got here and I realized it was already 15 seconds over. So, I almost took a bathroom break, but I didn't. I was just saying hi to Callie. All right. So, so that was off of the new record, Darkened Road Ahead, and that was recorded here at Shady Pines Studio. And we're just doing this listening party for anybody who's just now tuning in. We're basically just gonna listen to this whole album. We're going through a few highlights right now, and then we're gonna play the whole record uninterrupted at the end of this show. So what can you tell us about that tune? I guess maybe Danny, if you want to tell us a couple things about One Day Less.
Well, it's sort of. I mean, there is a little bit of one of the themes kind of running through the record here and there. I mean, it's not all autobiographical. Clearly, we'll get to that on one of the Cash tunes coming up here. But there is a theme there, similar to Whistles in the Wind, of you only got so much time left, right? So,
right.
One day less, and so get after the thing you need to get after. And so that was sort of in my head writing it, and it sort of comes up in the next song. That I think you have Gentle up next, right? I think.
Yeah, that's the next one on the.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for Gentle. I'm gonna move on to Gentle, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Gentle,
I will just say it's a very happy take on mortality. One Day Less is, but Gentle.
I gotta add, I think that's because Zach brought this different, like this other energy to it. So there, you know, it's the if the hourglass, if the sands are going through the hourglass, it looks different when you're in your 50s than when you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
And so I think he took that energy of that, and really influenced that song in a different way. And it just it makes it
the waltz version was much sadder. That is true.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know what you were thinking, Zach, when you came up with the little guitar.
I don't know, man. Have you ever met people who are 100 years old who are about to die? They're happy, dude.
Yeah, well,
there are some happy people who are about to die.
What are you saying?
They're the most joyous people.
It's all uphill from here.
Yeah. Anyway, so say so gentle.
Anyway, gentle, I think, is the one you have up next, and it's a similar thing. There's kind of two parts to the song. Well, there's kind of three, but really there's a how you look at things when you're young, and then kind of how you look at things when you're a little bit older. So a little similar theme in that. I actually wrote it around the time that a friend's parent had passed away. And so having gone through that myself as well, it was kind of like I had this realization that even though we both had this saying, we, from our own perspectives and our own history and how we were brought up or everything else that's happened in our life, we still see it probably a little bit differently. And so that was sort of the idea that's going on in this song.
All right. This is Gentle by Luther's Boots.
I woke up to the morning sky, shining light in their eyes, kept me warm, kept me fed, and filled up my heart and head. In the dark, I was still safe, but close my eyes and see their face, and sleep until the new day. The whole world was expanding out before me, mystic and wild as in a dream. Even clouds rained down all in wonder. They let me choose how I would be. Now the light is dull and gray. When I was young, I looked away. I thought that all would stay the same. Lost on lost, numb today. And in the dark, I still see their face. The night so long as I lay awake and pray that tomorrow this might change. The whole world is closing in around me, wearing 3 coats in this winter's room, and my voice can't escape the darkness. A clear night, no stars or moon. And I wonder, my friend, does it help to know that I've been here too? I see now how would I feel. It's not quite the same as you. And though we're watching these sunsets together, we both have a different view. Could I just be gentle? Could I just comfort you? Could I just be gentle? Could I just comfort you?
Gentle by Luther's Boots. All right. That's a great song. So yeah, that's again another song. So I feel like you kind of start off on this album with just like the first three are very much like Johnny Cash tributes, and maybe even the first four. But you start kind of venturing into real Danny Wilson territory, and I know that because I've recorded a Danny Wilson album in the past. And that one, and then you kind of bring it back, but it's a cool combination, I will say, of sounds.
It's funny because we kind of, I don't know, I talk to friends, you hear, okay, you're playing Johnny Cash, so you're a country band, right? And it's kind of hard to say no to that. And even for a long time, after all these songs have been practiced and everything, I'd use that term, but it doesn't feel right at all to me. And yeah, Nashville sounds country for sure, And the funny thing is, when I first started writing songs, and some of these Danny Girl songs, I never listened to country when I was growing up. I didn't really like it. I had some earlier life, a time where I was listening to Johnny Cash, 15, 20 years ago, but it didn't necessarily take hold either. But when I started writing songs, it kind of had this feel to it a little bit. So it's not far off, but I know what you're saying.
Well, and listening to the Rick Rubin American sessions, you can't help but, if you start listening to those, you can't start helping, like, that you're just looking for songs.
Yeah.
And that I think that there's a tendency in art and all the way across the board to silo things. And really, there's so many more, there are many more connections than there are discrepancies.
Totally.
And so I think that's actually probably our downfall, is that we're always trying to like fit those models. And I really honestly think that was probably based in capitalism and radio, like you need to have a country station, you need to have, and so what was kind of revolutionary about Dylan and that thing was to like cross the platforms.
Yeah. And I guess, Johnny Cash was also influenced by Dylan, and I've always thought of Johnny Cash as the kind of a bridge between country and rock and roll. And, I also grew up, I'll take it a step farther. I grew up really disliking country music because I didn't really know I didn't know there was good country music. I didn't know there was country music that was written with heart and more than just the kind of commercial crap, achy breaky heart or whatever that I grew up kind of like seeing on TV or whatever. So yeah, it's
the other thing that even when we started playing, when we were doing Folsom Prison, and this was before Zach was here, but he does the same thing. We weren't doing it a note for note interpretation. We were not copying what he did,
right?
And we didn't try and sound like the Tennessee Three. And so even though like some of these songs, even though like Zach said, there's it's the countryest of all of them probably is Nashville. I don't think, Zach, what you're doing there is copying typical country guitar. You have a little more fire in what you're doing than I think.
I've never been to Nashville, so.
Well, I know, but you've heard all.
Well, there.
But we're trying. There might be when he plays, and Wyatt's also a jazz major in bass. He's not playing a root fifth bass line on hardly anything. So even if it's a country song, you listen to what he's doing on Nashville when we're just singing. It's these guys are taking it a step further, or in a different direction, maybe.
Yeah.
And
totally. Yeah, and, for me, Johnny Cash was kind of like one of the early kind of country musicians I saw. Was like, oh, this is country can be good, and
Right.
and yeah, I think you guys your covers of Johnny Cash do him a great amount of justice, and it's really cool to hear this album, which is kind of it's all original music with a combination of just like anywhere from like strongly influenced by Johnny Cash and that kind of music to it's I don't know, shades of gray between Danny Wilson and Johnny Cash throughout this record that I appreciate quite a bit.
That's too close to a comparison.
Yeah.
I would like to say something that I've always thought about these songs, because I know start with Cash, who did those records with Rick Rubin in the 90s and 2000s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Things like Rusty Cage, which is actually a cover of a Soundgarden tune,
Yeah.
Rusty Cage. And of course that goes full on, heavy riff at the end. And also Hurt, which is a cover of a Nine Inch Nails song, and also has that real edge to it. But when Cash sings, it's Johnny Cash. It's America. It's country Americana. Very similar to the Loretta Lynn, who I adore. Loretta Lynn, her record in 2005, produced by Jack White.
I love that record.
Van Leer Rose.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the same vein, and I'm kind of paraphrasing this sentiment from Jack White himself, and he said, it doesn't matter what kind of music, if we do a country thing or a garage rock kind of thing underneath, her songs, when she sings, it's going to be country. When she sings, it's going to evoke the same set of sensibilities, the same depth as any other song she's done in the past. So, and I feel this way because also in this album, the songs Dan has written from his sensibilities and from his observations, and of course, and his voice as well. It's like you could put that on top of any kind of groove, any kind of style, and it will still retain pretty much 100% of its purpose and its own individualism.
Totally.
I knew that.
Yeah, I think the first record we recorded together,
Was that a compliment? Was that a compliment?
In there.
The first record we did
around.
together, I would call almost like an indie rock album, and I think this album has elements of that, but it's bringing it to that Johnny Cash and old time outlaw country sensibility, which I appreciate. And yeah, we have a couple more tunes we're going to feature before we just play the whole album uninterrupted. This next one is Jack's song. And if you want to do a quick introduction to it, let's play the song and then we'll really get into it, because I think there's some really interesting aspects to not only the song but the process of recording it.
Yeah. So, quick introduction is that I was watching old Ken Burns' country music documentary, and we've done a lot of research on Cash and stuff. And of course, I was really interested in the part that was about Cash. And Johnny's older brother Jack died when Johnny was 8, I think, and Jack was 14. And I didn't know this until I saw the documentary, that he spoke some words to his mother as he was lying on his deathbed. And I borrowed those words from Jack, as well as some words that are on his gravestone out near Dyess, Arkansas, and turned that into the chorus of this song. And so that's how that all got started, borrowing this sentiment. Jack was a really important person for Johnny throughout his life, even though he was dead since he was 8. So
yeah.
Anyway, so that's a short intro.
That's a short intro. There's some really interesting info on the people singing the backup on the song that we'll get into after we play it. This is Jack's Song by Luther's Boots off of Darkened Road Ahead. Look it up on Spotify right now.
Can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Can you hear the angels singing? Mama, I'm going to the light. How am I supposed to carry on? There's no better soul to show me the way. Only 14 and so much more than I will ever be. On your deathbed I listen to you say, can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Can you hear the angels singing? Mama, I'm going to the light. Won't you visit me and always be my North Star? Be my guiding light throughout my life. I'll keep my promise to our mama and sing God's melodies. And I'll find you when I reach the other side. Can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Can you hear the angels singing? Mama, I'm going to the light. Can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Or can you hear the angels singing? Mama, I'm going to the light. Can you hear the angels singing? Mama, I'm going to the light.
All right, that's Jack's song by Luther's Boots. You guys still with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, it's good to know. All right. So, yeah, if anybody's just tuning in, that was a song off of the new Luther's Boots record, which is out pretty much everywhere right now. You can find it on Spotify, Bandcamp, iTunes, all those things. Just came out. It was recorded here at the studio, Shady Pines studio, and birthed from the Folsom 50 project, which I feel like we should get into that a little bit more, and this is a good song to kind of do that with. So you actually, after we recorded this song, this is actually, I guess, actually this song you sent me mostly recorded at your own house. I think you recorded the vocals. I gave you a mic for... This was the vocals were recorded post quarantine, so this is probably in late March, early April, and we still had to get this song finished. And you also, before the quarantine, brought a Zoom recorder out to the prison, and before, like, it was impossible to do that for obvious reasons. And you had. I'll let you take it from there because I don't know too much about how that all works.
Okay, yeah, just this one actually, yeah, you're right. I don't think any of this was recorded. This one, you did
true.
A masterful job mixing it.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Yeah, as I started talking, I was like, I guess none of this was physically recorded at the studio.
Because I had done the piano at home and I sent it to you. And actually, I think I sent you a couple different versions of it.
Yep.
And we did a vocal track there because I'd already sent you the piano, but we ended up using a different one.
That's sort of the guts of the story.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, I know, but you know, the guts of the story is that Danny and I went down to Lakeview last year, and we didn't have enough money to pay musicians to do a show at Lakeview, and so instead, I did a printing workshop with Adults in Custody one day, and Danny practiced with the chapel band at Lakeview, and we put on a show on the full yard with Danny and this chapel band, which was one of those leaps of faith. Like, is this going to work?
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was so great. It was really wonderful how Danny and the guys kind of meshed, and they really made something.
I'd send them like 15 of the cash songs that we were going to play ahead of time, so they could kind of practice with themselves first. Yeah.
And so that's how we got to know this group of men, and it just, I really think after you wrote that song, it became apparent.
It wasn't right away. So I wrote that song, and I had this, it felt very churchy, which isn't really me, but it felt that way. And Cash was very much a Christian, and so it felt like it was the right thing. And I thought about actually getting Zach and Wyatt and Kevin to actually sing this sort of, do a choir part,
which would have been a great backup plan. But
yeah.
However,
but I wasn't quite sure in like how we were gonna do that. But then it kind of hit me, because we did that one concert down there at Lakeview with the band, and then we've toured the state also doing a lecture. And one of the lectures, the same group of men sang this with just an acoustic guitar and like a 4-part harmony, the Eagles song "Take It to the Limit." And they also did Man of Constant Sorrow, just some beautiful harmonies. And so this had all happened in the background. And so I was thinking about how we're gonna like fill this song out, and then it kind of hit me, maybe these guys, we could get them to do it for us.
Right.
And so got a hold of, we'd been down to Lakeview enough times and had a good relationship with the staff there, and got a hold of Chaplain Friend is his name, and Trevor Stancliffe, who are our main contacts there. And it took a little bit of time, but they approved for us to come down and record them singing.
And you just brought a couple of mics and a Zoom recorder, and
I borrowed 2 Shady Pines mics.
Yep.
And I brought my Tascam with me. And Zach, I asked Zach because of his music major, and I had actually been to his senior recital already and seen him, the string quartet that he had written. Yeah. Like all these parts. Like Zach can probably knock the harmonies out in 5 minutes.
Sure.
I don't know. How long did that take you to do, Zach?
Maybe an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it was easy because you told me to do it. You told me there were some good guys singing there, but you wanted to keep it pretty basic nonetheless. And I was like, yeah, okay, that seems pretty intuitive,
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty quickly, Zach came back with sheet music, and so I sent him the piano track with me singing, and sent him the music. And Chaplain Friend had them. Actually, it turns out they kind of did it on their own. He gave them the music, and they figured it out on their own.
But it was really interesting to watch them put it together, and they were still having kind of a hard time nailing it when we arrived, and so there's this tension because they don't want to disappoint. They come all this way. And so the things were getting a little, like, you could see one particular guy was feeling a little tense about it, and they just did this take and got it exactly right. And there was this whoop went up, and it really brought together the thing that we're trying to do with this project, which is help create moments of success in art making, and that like you just have to be, it's a physically, like you physically have to be in the room together, like you physically have to like have the energy, that energetic space, and that is a luxury that a lot of people don't have in prison. And so that really, like, for me, that was like, okay, in this song is the moment of recognition that this is when we're having a success, or
Yeah,
we're doing something right.
and I just feel like we were so lucky because when you came over and you grabbed a couple of mics and brought them over to the prison, we had no idea that literally was going to be totally impossible to do like 2 weeks from then.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
could not have done that. This
Yeah.
was, I don't know, late February or something like that, maybe early March. And, maybe there were whispers of the coronavirus at that point, but it was just now the idea of bringing somebody else into a prison is no way. Like,
No way. Well,
Yeah.
we
And-
volunteer and our classes are canceled, and so we're just holding tight.
yeah.
Yeah, we probably can't get back in at least till next year. at this
Right.
point, so.
But luckily, you actually got a couple of songs recorded there.
Right. So
with them.
some of the influence of the record, of course, was Johnny Cash, and obviously that song we just told where that part of it is from.
Yeah.
And you mentioned earlier how the third and fourth song seem very Cash-like. The fourth song is Without God, which we'll hear in a minute, I guess.
Yeah.
But that is also it's really a story taken about Cash's life. And one of the men that were in that choir there on Jack's song actually sang the backup part for that one as well. And he's got a beautiful voice.
Oh,
and
it's
and
just-
he
it's
harmonizes.
heartbreaking.
He kind of harmonizes without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And then kind of as far as the other direct Cash reference is the song Jesse James, which I think we're probably going to play now.
Yeah, let's play it. And
So Jesse James, this one, just going ahead before we get there, it is a true in the sense that Johnny Cash told it in his autobiography, true story about him, with a little let me rhyme some things, so maybe it's a little bit different, but it's a true story about when he started a forest fire in the Los Padres National Wildlife Refuge
oof.
during kind of his drug haze days. So.
Wow. All right. Well, I didn't know Johnny Cash did that. I'm gonna have to rethink this Johnny Cash character.
He did. And when he wrote that book, he was apparently the only person who had ever been prosecuted for starting a forest fire and had to pay. I can't remember. Well, it was,
125K.
had to pay $125,000 back in the '60s or something.
Wow.
So, $1 million bucks. It's one of the lines in the song. And I actually performed this song at the Johnny Cash Heritage Festival in a lecture that we did back in October of last year.
In Dyess, Arkansas.
We gave our lecture there, and this song was one of the ones that were in that lecture. Anyway.
Awesome. All right, well, let's play it. This is Jesse James by Luther's Boots off of the new album Darkened Road Ahead, available on all places that you can play an album. Check it out.
I took a couple of pills before I started out. Gassed up the tank and I headed south. Just me and my buddy Jesse James. Well, I'd sing at night, sleep all day. Took the pills just to stay awake and to keep my show out on the road. So many things I didn't know. Got caught up and was feeling cold. Didn't think about nothing but myself. That selfishness may lead to hell. Tried to lie but didn't do it well. When I told him who'd started that blaze, it was Jesse James. It was Jesse James. My outlaw partner in crime, Jesse James. He had a bum wheel that started all the flames. I'm telling you, man, it was Jesse James. Oh, thank you. Well, I heard some noises on the back right side. I was thinking about myself, so I just let it slide. Then I finally stopped to check him out. There was oil that was dripping down, heated by the wheel and falling to the ground. That's all it took to make it go. Well, that fire spread out of control, so I hatched a plan to grab my fishing pole, and I went down to the creek for my alibi. And I started telling this pretty thin lie. I was just watching the fish in the sky, and I didn't know there was a fire until they came. It wasn't me, it was Jesse James. I'm telling you, boss, man, it was Jesse James. But I'm not sure that he was buying my claim. When I told him it wasn't me, it was Jesse James. Oh! Well, that fire burned, smoke filled the air. They questioned me, but just left me there. Had to sleep out under the stars that night. Early next day in the morning light, a truck came and offered me a ride, but it was with the bee, so I just had him move on. So I kept walking, I was feeling wrong, was thinking about myself, not what I had done. Couldn't see the one endangered was me. With all arrogance and amphetamines, them yellow buzzers didn't matter to me. Kept blaming that fire on Jesse James. It was Jesse James, but I had to pay 125K, about $1 million today. But it wasn't enough to ever make me change my ways. I'll just go out and find Jesse James. I'll just go out and find Jesse James.
Jesse James. 1.5K. It's about $1 million today. All right. I just have one question immediately following that, which is Zach, who I don't know if he's with us or not. His mic is muted, but how are you so good at playing guitar?
Hi.
Hey, how? It's so good. That was I will describe that as I'll go with smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That was I think that must have been like the second song we did in that session.
It was the first one, I believe, because I just remember you guys busting that one out and being like, "Oh, okay." I don't know. It was just it kind of set the tone for the entire session.
Yeah, it did have a bit of robust, readiness, because I love recording. So, especially in like in a actual studio with everyone there, which I guess may be called old school. But I really like, and Dan was talking about earlier about how sometimes the guitar, I put in some like something that correlates with the lyrics or something that adds the ambiance. And listening to this, I think it may have been maybe in part subconscious that the guitar line for most of the verses is kind of a sputtering kind of mid-range kind of popping boom, 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 which I always can't help but associate that with some kind of sputtering of the motorhome or something like that.
Yeah.
See, that's what you do, man. You like.
Yeah, you're paying attention.
You may not have known that you were doing that, but it's exactly what you do.
It's got a vibe. You're painting a picture with sound for sure. I love that song, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the first one that you guys busted out that day that we recorded this, and it just kind of immediately set the vibe for the whole session for me. Which
I remember trying to start with the ones that I thought we knew really well, just to give us a little confidence.
Yeah, it was just we basically recorded this whole album, I guess, except for Jack's song. Everything was recorded within the same day, and there was one small session of overdubs like 2 days later. But that whole, like I said, that song kind of set the table for me, and I was just like, okay, I know what we're doing now. I know these guys are good. They know what they're doing, and they've been playing together at doing these prison shows for some time, and they're gonna be fun to record. So that was my perspective on that.
That's sincere.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah, well, likewise, my friend.
We made you work a long day. I remember that.
It was a long day. Very much worth it though, and it was good. It was very, very fun. So that was the last song that we have on the thing. I wanted to play one more before you go ahead and play the whole album. Fighting Words is a song that I particularly relate to because, if I'm not mistaken, you told me that you were adopted, right?
Yeah.
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 And so this is a song about you meeting your father, which I connected to a lot because I only recently met my birth father.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
I didn't
so
know that.
yeah, it's true. Only I think it was about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and so just I don't know. Yeah, the lyrics for this song really connected with me, and
I actually haven't met him.
oh,
But
okay,
we've exchanged emails.
Okay,
We've
yep.
exchanged emails, and I know what he looks like. I've seen him, but we actually haven't met him. But the song is basically, let me see. The short version of it is that we spent some time with this woman who does this project called Lasting Letters, and she writes letters for people who are dying to people that they want to give communicate with one more time. And she helps them write this letter. And she said she had been doing it for people who are estranged from their families. And I said, this is kind of jokingly, I wanted to see your process. So I said, you want to help me do one to my birth father? So she went and got her computer and she asked me some questions, and she turned this letter around, which I then sent to him. It's not exactly the lyrics of the song, but that's basically what it is. It's saying the same thing.
yeah.
So
It was just super interesting to me because I could definitely relate to that feeling of is there some underlying motivation for me contacting this person, and what do they think about me reaching out to them? And and I don't know, really know what else to say about it, but it was definitely something I vibed with, and I'm gonna play it, and then after this we'll reconnect and then play the whole record all the way through uninterrupted. This is Fighting Words by Luther's Boots off of Darkened Road Ahead.
I ain't got no hard feelings, and I don't want to waste your time. But I just found out that I'm the runoff of your meandering bloodline. I promise you that I want nothing more than just to say hello, and for you to see that I made it, even though you let me go. My life's been good, I got a family, I grew up happy, I had everything I need. And I hope that your choices and your other boys, they made you happy, but please, no more regrets if you had them. You weren't bad ones, you were just too young back then. You had your whole life before you, but I wonder, would you do it again? That you're sitting here in front of me. After the recap of 50 years, what do you really think we can be? I tried to warn you this is going nowhere except to shake your hand and to see if your eyes are like mine when I meet you as a man. There really is nothing else, and I'm doing well, so I hope that you are too. And please don't expect to find something else on my mind. This ain't some kind of ruse. Just wanna look you in the eye and tell you I'm alright, but just so that you know, glad to have met you, but keep in mind, my dad died long ago. Daddy, she'll never be my mom. But that I don't mean any harm. You might have had your doubts back when you gave me away, but take comfort in knowing what I became.
Oh yeah, Fighting Words by Luther's Boots, off of the new record Darkened Road Ahead, recorded right here at Shady Pine Studios. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to celebrate your album release with us here at the studio that you recorded
Our
it
pleasure.
virtually.
Our pleasure. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having
Thank
us
you.
and for all your hard work, man. I feel like I ask too much of you sometimes.
No,
I'm sure you
man.
do.
No, I love how hands-on. Honestly, yeah, I feel like producing this record and just mixing it was is a real pleasure because it's easy to like communicate with you and kind of like send you something and be like, hey, what do you think of this versus that, and just kind of bounce ideas back and forth. So I found you're very easy to work with, and it's always a pleasure. This is our second big project together, so.
You're the first person to say that.
No complaints. So yeah, I guess let's go ahead and play the whole record all the way through. I'll probably log off the Zoom call and just let it rock all the way through. But thanks again, Tracy,
you.
Zach, and Danny.
Brian.
Yeah, this has been really fun. So
Hey, we got a live stream. If you go to Luther's Boot or Folsom 50 on Facebook, we actually are doing a live stream on Wednesday.
oh, awesome. Is it what is the nature of this live stream? Is it just you performing solo, or is it the full band thing?
Right, Rose. So no, it's full band. It's on Facebook. There's a group called PDX Couch Tour, and it's going to be 6 p.m. on Wednesday. But if you go to Folsom 50 on Insta or on Facebook, then we'll have it up there. We'll post it.
Awesome.
So, and we're going to record it. And since we can't go into prison, we're going to record that, and we're going to send it in for TV stations to play. And
Cool.
give them a little piece of it. So.
Yeah, and so yeah, just everybody out there, you can find it's a little counterintuitive because it's not under Luther's Boots. Luther's Boots is the name of the band, but you will find them under Folsom 50.
The record is Luther's Boots on all the things.
Yep.
But on Facebook, it's and Instagram, it's Folsom 50.
Yeah,
Right.
Folsom 50 is the project where they it started as you guys playing Johnny Cash covers in prisons. And Luther's Boots is the band, and if you look him up on Spotify or Bandcamp, Apple Music, all those things, you can find them and their new album, Darkened Road Ahead, which we're gonna play in its entirety right now. Thanks again, guys, and
Thank you.
we'll see you
See ya.
soon. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Starting off here
Thank
with
you.
Whistles in the Wind. This is an 11-track album, and check it out. It's called Darkened Road Ahead by Luther's Boots.
Bye.
For years,
Later.
I feel like
Later.
I've been stuck at the station. Like my wheels are rusted and they won't move. But I just lit a fire and the steam is building. I'm not busted, but there's not much left to lose. And you lend me a hand, go get the grease gun. It might take a little more time. And bring out a hammer, a blunt force to free them. Let's get it moving on down the line. And you know I can hear this train a-comin'. It's rolling right around the bend. The big wheels keep on turning and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. But I've been down this road before. This time it seems like it's gonna change. I need John Henry to help me build a new one right on through that big mountain range. I don't know what I'll find when I break through. Maybe just a little bit of peace. But time is running on, so I won't lay down my hammer till it's time to finally go to sleep. And you know I can hear that train a-comin'. It's rolling right around the bend. The big wheels keep on turning, and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. How's that? Coming, it's rolling right around the bend. Oh, the big wheels keep on turning, and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. And you know I can hear that train a-comin'. It's rolling right around the bend. No, the big wheels keep on turning, and the people keep on moving. We're all just whistles in the wind. We're all just whistles in the wind. Hey there, Nashville, what you got in store for me? Pointy boots and cowboy hats and tight-fitting jeans, tight-fitting jeans. Hey man, that's not my scene. I'm just looking for something that makes me want to believe. I like to walk up just like Johnny Cash. Pretty sure on stage that he never wore a hat or the man in black. He stayed true to himself. Redemption, resurrection, and always a good story to tell. I wasn't sure just what I thought I might find, but now I'm home looking for others of my kind. Hey there, Big Smokey, so glad to shake your hand. Them my skull pickers, I really like to see that kind of band. Oh, what's just right? Right there in that leaky double wide. We did not expect it, but we're damn glad to see that other side. That Nashville skyline, it seems to do no wrong. That duet with Johnny Cash is one of my favorite songs. Oh, did they see that Dylan showing up would be the key to growing this city and changing that Nashville scene? Here goes that. I wasn't sure just what I thought I might find, but now I'm home looking for others of my kind. chance on this old singer with many more songs to write. Hey there, Nashville, what you have in store for me? I love the open road, but them tight-fitting jeans ain't for me. No, I don't think they will ever be. I'll take your Americana style and all your history. I'll take your Americana style and all your history. Took a couple of pills before I started out. Gassed up the tank and I headed south. Just me and my buddy Jesse James. Well, I'd sing at night, sleep all day. Took the pills just to stay awake and to keep my show out on the road. So many things I didn't know. Got caught up and was feeling cold. Didn't think about nothing but myself. That selfishness may lead to hell. Tried to lie but didn't do it well. When I told him who'd started that blaze, it was Jesse James. It was Jesse James. My outlaw partner in crime, Jesse James. He had a bum wheel that started all the flames. I'm telling you, man, it was Jesse James. Oh, thank you. Some noises on the back right side. I was thinking about myself, so I just let it slide. Then I finally stopped to check him out. There was oil that was dripping down, heated by the wheel and falling to the ground. That's all it took to make it go. Well, that fire spread out of control, so I hatched a plan to grab my fishing pole and I went down to the creek for my alibi. And I started telling this pretty thin lie. I was just watching the fish in the sky, and I didn't know there was a fire until they came. It wasn't me, it was Jesse James. I'm telling you, boss, man, it was Jesse James. But I'm not sure that he was buying my claim. When I told him it wasn't me, it was Jesse James. Oh! Smoke filled the air. They questioned me, but just left me there. Had to sleep out under the stars that night. Early next day in the morning light, a truck came and offered me a ride, but it was with the bee, so I just had him move on. So I kept walking, I was feeling wrong, was thinking about myself, not what I had done. Couldn't see the one endangered was me. With all arrogance and amphetamines, them yellow buzzers didn't matter to me. Kept blaming that fire on Jesse James. It was Jesse James, but I had to pay 125K, about $1 million today. But it wasn't enough to ever make a change my way. I'll just go out and find it, Jesse James. I'll just go out and find it, Jesse James. In here, this cave where I will die. I can hear my mama's voice, please don't cry. Yet deeper still I go, despite the warning signs. Without God, without love, without light. It called to me would not say no. I had 1,000 reasons, I never took it slow. Had 1,000 bottles and woke up so low. Without God, without love, without hope. But days like these are coming to an end. I can't go on, and it seems too soon, but I don't know how or when. Without God, without love, without anything. But there's hope in here that I thought was gone. A brother's light still down upon me shone. So I'm crawling now to find my way home. Could it be God? Could it be love? Am I not alone? And it's clear there's gonna be long days. I'll slip up now and then, and I'll lose my way. But there's one thing that I know, and I'm certain when I say I have God, I have love, I have faith. I have God, love, and faith. I ain't got no hard feelings, and I don't want to waste your time. But I just found out that I'm the runoff of your meandering bloodline. I promise you that I want nothing more than just to say hello, and for you to see that I made it, even though you let me go. My life's been good, I got a family, I grew up happy, I had everything I need. And I hope that your choices and your other boys, they made you happy, but please, no more regrets if you had them. You weren't bad ones, you were just too young back then. You had your whole life before you, but I wonder, would you do it again? That you're sitting here in front of me. After the recap of 50 years, what do you really think we can be? I tried to warn you this is going nowhere except to shake your hand and to see if your eyes are like mine when I meet you as a man. There really is nothing else, and I'm doing well, so I hope that you are too. And please don't expect to find something else on my mind. This ain't some kind of ruse. Just wanna look you in the eye and tell you I'm alright, but just so that you know, glad to have met you, but keep in mind, my dad died long ago. Though I'll never call you daddy, and she'll never be my mom, by that I don't mean any harm. You might have had your doubts back when you gave me away, but take comfort in knowing what I became. I woke up to the morning sky, shining light in their eyes, kept me warm, kept me fed, and filled up my heart and head. In the dark, I was still safe, but close my eyes and see their face, and sleep until the new day. The whole world was expanding out before me, mystic and wild as in a dream. Even clouds rained down all in wonder. They let me choose how I would be. Now the light is dull and gray. When I was young, I looked away. I thought that all would stay the same. Lost on lost, numb today. And in the dark, I still see their face. Night so long as I lay awake and pray that tomorrow this might change. The whole world is closing in around me, wearing 3 coats in this winter's room, and my voice can't escape the darkness. A clear night with no stars or moon. And I wonder, my friend, does it help to know that I've been here too? I see now how what I feel is not quite the same as you. And though we're watching these sunsets together, we both have a different view. Could I just be gentle? Could I just comfort you? Could I just be gentle? Could I just comfort you? By the sea, walk hand in hand on the boardwalk. Skaters go by, kite flyers look up to the sky, silhouetted by sun, sandals to bodies and sandals. Stare at the horizon and wonder what is to come. Orange and pink gives way to a dark, starry night. Ships in the distance revealed at the close of the day. Is a seafaring man alone far out in the ocean? Will he ever be wrapped in his true lover's arms again? One more day is behind us, and what have we done? It's one day less than we have before we are gone. Find a way back to your true love. The ocean's eternal, it'll wait for you to return. Oh, why are you waiting for you to be kept by your true love? Don't let the sea keep you long from where you could be. One more day is behind us, and what have we done? One day less than we have before we are gone. One more day is behind us, and what have we done? It's one day less than we have before we are gone. I get is the silent treatment when I ask you what is on your mind. Long ago, we lost that love and sweetness. I think I see what's coming down the line, and I know I could have done some things better. I never say this problem is yours alone, but I think I now see where this thing is headed. You want me to fix it on my own. If I've been bad so long and you've made up your mind, all flowers and candy, just a waste of time. Should I just go hole up with a big old box of wine? 'Cause it's getting pretty clear that you're leaving. Ton of bricks, it hit me this morning. You're lying there, but you'll soon be gone. Should've known, but I ignored the warnings. It was all right there in your tone. So what's the point of going through the motions? Let's not drag this out anymore. Though the tears I cry might just fill the oceans, it's time for you to walk on out my door. Well, I guess it it's really got that bad and you made up your mind. On you I'm done wasting my money and my time. Now I'm holed up all alone with a big old box of wine, drinking to the memory of you leaving. If I am too simple for you, then I understand. I've never claimed to be smart or a book-learned man. Can't lie anymore, tired of letting you down. What will you see when I am just me? I wonder if you'll stick around, 'cause I'm too old to do all of this anymore. If you don't like it, my friend, well, there is the door. And I'll cry and I'll miss you, I'm sure, but it's all I've got. I'm tired of trying to be something I'm not. I always felt bad when I didn't do what Mama said. And I tried, but I just couldn't walk down the path Papa led. It might not work out, but that's the chance that I'll take. I've got to be true, I can't do this for you. I've got to find my own way, 'cause I'm too old to do all of this anymore. I hope when I leave that they don't change the locks on the door. And I'll trust that they love me through all of the battles we fought. But I'm tired of trying to be something I'm not. I know I don't work out no more, sit around all day long, strumming this guitar and writing song after song. It's all going nowhere on that, with you I agree. It's time I was done, I ain't fooling no one, not even fooling me. See, I borrowed this melody right from the last song I heard, and I didn't do much except change all the words. 3 chords and the truth, but just look in my eyes. It's starting to show, you see that I know that it's just 3 chords and lies. And I'm too old to do all of this anymore. I could keep trying, but instead I'll walk out that door. Well, I've done what I could, I've given this my best shot. But I'm tired of trying to be something I'm not. I'm tired of trying to be something I'm not. Can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Can you hear the angels singing? Mama, I'm going to the light. How am I supposed to carry on no better soul to show me the way. Only 14 and so much more than I will ever be. On your deathbed I listen to you say, can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Can you hear the angels singing, Mama? I'm going to the light. Won't you visit me and always be my North Star? Be my guiding light throughout my life. I'll keep my promise to our mama and sing God's melodies. And I'll find you when I reach the other side. Can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Can you hear the angels singing, Mama? I'm going to the light. Can you hear the angels singing? Listen, can you hear them? Can you hear the angels singing? I'm going to the light. Will you meet me in heaven? I'll look for you there. Or can you hear the angels singing, Mama? I'm going to the light. Can you hear the angels singing, Mama? I'm going to the light. Hey there, train, where you going? Hear the wheels rolling, hear the rumble low. Can you take me with you? Take me far away, got no reason to stay. Only see her late at night, when I'm fast asleep, but never in the light. Only when I dream, but lately I can't sleep. I walk the streets instead, the stars and moon above, darkened road ahead. And I wonder if she'll ever be back again. These lonely nights that never seem to end. I'm holding out hope that one day she'll want me again. So I'm jumping on your back, we'll ride just you and me. Take me to the desert, to the rattlesnakes and heat, where I can walk all night with the moon above. Does she see it too? My love, only see her late at night, when I'm fast asleep, but never in the light. Only when I dream, but lately I can't sleep. I walk the streets instead, stars and moon above, a darkened road ahead. Only see her late at night, when I'm fast asleep, never in the light. Only when I dream, but lately I can't sleep. I walk the streets instead, the stars and moon above, a darkened road ahead.